Hello dear friends, you're in my house now, and I had no visitors today, so I haven't bothered to get dressed, but I've got a thought for today for you. It's Psalm 57 verse 1, and it's wonderful. It's just right for today. Have mercy on me, O God, have mercy upon me, for it is in you that my soul takes refuge. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until this disaster has passed. And that's a thought for today. But what I thought I'd tell you was, many years ago, more than 50 years ago, I knew an old gentleman when I first became a Christian. And it was over 50 years ago. And he used to give me little poems written in copper plate writing in gold ink. And it was wonderful. And he was a lovely old man. And I was about 15. And so I learnt his poems by heart. And I remember them particularly now. And one he wrote down for me, I think you'll like it, I'll tell you now. He didn't write it himself, but he read it and he wrote it down for me. And this is it. I wake up in the morning with thoughts of his love, who is living for me in the glory above. With glad hope I wait till he calls me away, and this keeps me bright as I go day by day. And the moments speed onward, and on comes the noon, and still I am singing, he'll come very soon. There's a man in the glory I know very well. I have known him for years, and his goodness can tell. One day in his mercy he knocked on my door, and seeking admission knocked many times o'er. And when I went to him, and stood face to face, and listened a while to his story of grace, how he suffered for sinners, and put away sin, I heartily, thankfully welcomed him in. We have lived on together a number of years, and that's why I have neither doubtings nor fears, for my sins all hid in the depths of the sea. They were put there for me by the man on the tree. I am often surprised when I see the lip curled, when I speak of my Lord to the man of the world, and notice with wonder his look of disdain, when I tell him that Jesus is coming again. He seems so content with his houses and gold, whilst despising the ark like the people of old. And yet at his coming I'm sure he would flee, like the man in the garden who ate of the tree. I cannot but think it is foolish of souls to put all their money in bags that have holes, to find in a day that is coming apace how lightly they valued the riches of grace. As fond as I am of his work in the field, I'll lay down the plough, I'll put down the shield, the weapons of service I'll put on the shelf, and the sword in its scabbard to be with himself. But I'll work on with pleasure whilst keeping my eyes on the end of the field where standeth the prize, that he too with pleasure his work may review. Is the man in the glory a stranger to you? A stranger to Jesus? What, do you not know? He is washing poor sinners much whiter than snow. Have you lived in a land where the Bible's unknown, that you don't know the man who is now on the throne? Ah, did you but know of his grace and his power, you'd not be a stranger another half hour. I've known him so long that I'm able to say, the very worst sinner he'll not turn away. And as to my footsteps, whatever the scene, the man in the glory is keeping me clean. Thank you. And I'll remind you again, Psalm 57, verse 1.